independent world. First of all, let me express the deepest sympathies of the Afghan people and government on the adverse impacts of COVID-19 on the lives and livelihoods of people of India. We are confident that with your stewardship, India would once again overcome this great adversity and be again an engine of growth of Asia and the world. Your decision to provide us with 500,000 doses of the vaccine at this critical time when Indians themselves are looking for every single vaccine could not be a greater gift. These doses will be administered to our frontline health workers, our heroic security forces, and vulnerable people. We cherish this act of exceptional generosity. Shahtoot. How do Kabulis measure the relative value of gold and snow? By our proverb, may Kabul be without gold, but not without snow. With Shahtoot Dam, Kabul's snow and rain will be harnessed to quench the thirst of around 2 million citizens through provision of water security. Shahtoot will inject sufficient water into Kabul River to make it once again a hub of greenery, reforestation, entertainment, and art and craft. With Shahtoot Reservoir and solar pumps, we will be able to implement our vision of restoring Kabul to the natural beauty that captivated the imagination of Babur and generations of renowned poets across the millennia. On behalf of the people of Kabul and Afghanistan, let me thank you and the great people of India for offering the gift of water, flowing life to us in addition to the gift of the vaccines. Your assistance, Mr. Prime Minister, under your leadership, over $3 billion contribution has been made to Afghanistan, and its uniqueness is that 90% of this assistance is on budget. It reflects our priorities. It provides the foundations of Afghanistan's democratic stability and prosperity. You've come, India's assistance is now iconically marked on our landscape, from Salma Dam to the transmission lines to the Parliament of Afghanistan, a symbol of our democracy, to hundreds of projects that have dealt and changed the lives of people, but particularly in the area of human capital. 1,000 scholarships per year. Now 16,000 Afghans are studying in India. Each of these is linking hundreds of thousands, and the ties that we have had across millennia now are multiplied billionfold. We thank you deeply, but in addition, India has been a partner, a true partner in development. The air corridor, Mr. Prime Minister, that you and I discussed in a meeting in Delhi was translated within a year into something that has made the confidence of the Afghan private sector great. Now, thanks to that initiative and your support, the air corridor is covering over 50 countries. The land corridor, Chabahar to Zaranj and on, is again a symbol of great fortitude, and let me pay tribute to Indian engineers, Indian companies, and Indian diplomats and civil servants who've spared no effort in making these great projects realized. Zaranj, when I was finance minister and we discussed the road from Zaranj to Dilaram, was a backwater. The entire population of it was less than 8,000. Today, it's a thriving city, it's a thriving port, and is going from strength to strength. I cannot count each one of these, but I just want to say that Tagore, we would like to thank Tagore again for having given the Indian people the image of Kabuliwala. And today, on behalf of Kabuliwalas, I would like to say a great thank you to you. Let me just turn to the wider picture in the role of India in this particular context. Mr. Prime Minister, we are in an open moment of history, a moment of great opportunity and simultaneously, unfortunately, great threat and peril. The opportunity is that with the type of political imagination that you've displayed, South Asia can see the full potential of cooperation and advantage of connectivity, and Asia can be made. And once again, after several hundred years, the most dynamic economic region of the world. A sovereign, democratic, united Afghanistan is essential to Asia's prosperity, connectivity, and stability. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the people of Afghanistan and my colleagues in the government for your principled support for the end state of a sovereign, democratic, united Afghanistan. An Afghanistan that would truly enjoy permanent peace, stability, democratic stability, and be sovereign. Sovereignty means that we must have the right to form our partnerships, and those partnerships, as I indicated, flow from values. Peace is the central desire of the Afghan people, and there's a consensus both nationally and within the state to seek peace. But that peace must be a peace that ends violence, not becomes a preface in a chapter to another tragedy. The tragedies of the past must serve as lessons to us so we do not repeat history. In there lies the role of Indian diplomacy. I would like to thank Foreign Minister Jaishankar and Foreign Minister Atmar for their very close collaboration, because this is the moment where regional consensus and international consensus on the need for guarantees for a stable and prosperous Afghanistan are essential. We must ask the world to ask all stakeholders to respect the rules of sovereignty and international relations, stop giving sanctuaries, and stop interfering in the affairs of their neighbors. The peril, Mr. Prime Minister, lies in misunderstanding this moment. Peace in Afghanistan is within grasp if parties and their backers in the Taliban embrace a true political solution. But Afghans will not submit to surrender. And it must be understood that our heroic security forces are not defeated, and neither have we lost our will or capacity for serving our people. Should, God forbid, Afghanistan be plunged into uncertainty, the consequences for the region and the world will be dire. The Afghan defense and security forces, the people of Afghanistan, and the government of Afghanistan are the first line of defense for democracy, for stability, and for security. And here, our submission with you is that terrorism must be seen as a full ecosystem, not a series of isolated individuals or groups. This is a destructive force that threatens the future that you and I and all people of goodwill are trying to bring. We must contain this because our long history of millennia of connectivity between Afghanistan and India is one of dialogue, civilizational engagement, tolerance, networks that brings us together. The end state that we seek, again, Mr. Prime Minister, is to serve once again as a roundabout in Asia, as a gate to India. That has been our title for centuries, and as a point, as a platform for cooperation. Afghanistan seeks maximum number of friends and does not want to be part of the false quarrels. But we stand for principle, we stand for decency, we stand for democracy, and we stand for connectivity. Once again, Mr. Prime Minister, on behalf of the people of Afghanistan, let me say thank you for these two great gifts. Thank you for believing in the future of Afghanistan. Thank you for your support for an Afghanistan that would be thriving in a hub with India's great support and with your personal attention in a moment when we know every moment is taken to save lives and livelihoods. We greatly appreciate your presence here and take the inauguration of this project as an omen for many more things that we will do in common. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, it is my privilege to request the Honorable Prime Minister of India to deliver his address on this important occasion.
Your Excellency, President Ghani, thank you very much for your very beautiful words. I would also like to convey my greetings to all the distinguished colleagues of yours in Afghanistan and all my friends. Namaskar. Firstly, I would like to beg your pardon that I got delayed in coming for this meeting. Our parliament was in session and there were some tasks at the parliament which made it imperative for me to stay back in parliament, and that's why I got delayed. Today, in fact, we are going to lay down yet another milestone in the long road of India-Afghanistan friendship. India and Afghanistan are not just joined geographically, but in fact, our history and culture are also interlinked and have been influencing each other. Our centuries-old connections are reflected in our languages, our cuisine, our music, and our literature. Friends, everyone knows that rivers have nurtured great civilizations in the world. As a source of life, rivers have defined our nations and our societies. In India, we consider our river Ganges our mother and have launched the Namami Gange program for its rejuvenation. This reverence for rivers is part of the shared legacy of India and Afghanistan. In Rigveda, the Nadi Stuti Sutta is in praise of the rivers of our region. Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi sums up the powerful link of rivers and civilizations in his quote, "The river that flows in you also flows in me." Friends, since the last almost 2 decades, India has been among the main development partners of Afghanistan. Our development projects in Afghanistan are spread across various sectors like infrastructure development, capacity building, agriculture, education, and health. 1 decade ago, by the construction of the transmission line at Pul-e-Khumri, the power supply for Kabul was improved. The 218-kilometer-long Dilaram-Charanj Highway provided an alternative for connectivity in Afghanistan. The Maitri Dam, built a few years ago, strengthened power supply and the irrigation system in Herat. The construction of the Parliament of Afghanistan is an important symbol of the great attachment to democracy that the people of India and Afghanistan have. A salient feature of all of these projects has been that they have further strengthened India-Afghanistan friendship and our mutual partnership. The same friendship, this closeness is visible between us even against the COVID pandemic.
Whether it is medicines or PPE kits or the supply of vaccines manufactured in India, Afghanistan's requirements have always been very important for us and will continue to be so in the future as well. Therefore, I can say that the Shatut Dam in Kabul, for which we are signing an MOU today, will be built on a foundation of not just bricks and mortar. It will stand on the strong foundation of India-Afghanistan friendship. The city of Kabul has a special place in the hearts of the people of India. Several generations, as you mentioned, have grown up reading the Kabuliwala story written by Guru Rabindranath Tagore. Therefore, I feel a special joy knowing that the Shetut Dam project will make drinking water available for the citizens living. Khudast. This is my own home. From Badkhansha to Nimroz and from Herat to Kandahar, I would like to assure every Afghan brother and sister that India is standing together with you. India will be with you during every step of your journey that is one of patience, courage and resolve. No external force can stop the development of Afghanistan or the friendship between India and Afghanistan. Excellency, we are concerned about the increasing violence in Afghanistan. Innocent citizens, journalists and workers are being targeted in a cowardly manner. We have called for an immediate end to violence and we support an immediate comprehensive ceasefire. Violence and peace counteract each other and both cannot coexist. As close neighbors and strategic partners, India and Afghanistan both want to see our region free from the problems of terrorism and extremism. India supports a peace process that is Afghan-led, Afghan-owned, and Afghan-controlled. It is very important to strengthen the internal unity among the people of Afghanistan. I am sure that a united Afghanistan will be able to face any challenge. We see in Afghanistan's success, India's success, and success for our entire region. We would like to once again assure all our Afghan friends of India's friendship. I convey to you my heartfelt gratitude to all my dear brothers and sisters of Afghanistan for the trust you have placed in India. Tashakkur. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Excellencies, it is my pleasure and privilege to request their excellencies, the Foreign Minister of Afghanistan and the External Affairs Minister of India, to sign from their respective locations the Memorandum of Understanding on the construction of the Shahtut Dam. Excellencies, this brings us to the conclusion of the signing ceremony. I thank our two leaders and other esteemed guests for their gracious presence on this landmark occasion. Thank you and namaskar.